Hey guys, it's Sean. Thanks for joining me in this series. This is the first video in the series. Today we're going to cover how to easily publish a book on Amazon Kindle. And I've got that separated into two chunks, basically, two components overall, the system framework and the time framework. And we're going to go over each one, and I'll expand each one, and we'll cover in detail here, and you'll see as far as publishing a book on Kindle how easily it is ultimately. So if we have a look here, we're going to go into the system framework here, and I've got this divided into overall framework and book content in the first one, and in the second one here we've got tools that we need, and we'll cover that one in a moment here. But the overall framework and book content, this is essentially what's inside your book, what it's going to be comprised of here. So I'll scroll this up a bit and we can see your book content is going to be made up of ideas that you've got, notes that you think might be important to your reader. This is if you're doing like a non-fiction book. You might have, I know I've thrown in like questions that I've encountered while researching a topic. In information type books or products, checklists, always good to throw in. A list of steps for people to follow to achieve, end results or smaller end results inside the main product. Sometimes it's good to throw in fine details about whatever it is you're talking about. You can also throw in comparisons. Those sometimes are helpful as far as making people understand something. If you compare it to something else, sometimes it'll make the material a little bit more relatable or understandable. And it's also good to throw in reasons why you're explaining something to them or having them do something in regards to your overall content. So that's about it for the overall framework and book content. And over here, once we've got all of this, once we've got all of our content, our main subject matter, ideas, notes, checklists, questions, all of that together, the tools that we need in order to publish, in order to get our book assembled here. So we're going to need a few things depending on how much of this we're going to do ourselves. We're probably going to need some kind of word processor, and even if you're not a writer, it's not just words, because you may do some kind of a book, some kind of a product on how to brew the greatest batch of wine ever. And it might be just a series, the book might be just a series of pictures of different types of tools that you need, or specifics on cleaning, transferring, measurements, that kind of stuff. All mostly pictures with very little text. So you don't have to be a writer, or you don't have to do a whole bunch of writing in a word processor, but ultimately you probably will need something like that. If you're outsourcing and someone else is writing it, then you're not going to need that. Photoshop. Also, I've thrown in here GIMP is another program. It's essentially a free version of Photoshop. Photoshop is fantastic and really the standard for editing and doing anything image-based. It's fantastic. The learning curve on Photoshop can be a bit steep depending on how tech savvy you are. But the other option is also to have your graphic work outsourced and someone do all of the graphical design, your covers, all that kind of stuff for you. So Photoshop or GIMP in regards to graphics. The last thing you need, as far as, it's not so much a tool, but you will need an Amazon account, because you will need to, one, upload your book, and secondly, track the sales of your book once it's available online and see how it's doing once you've launched your book there. So really it doesn't take a whole lot here, like content, word processor, graphics, account, not a whole lot as far as the overall system here. And once you start outsourcing, then there's less involved overall for you to worry about, because you're getting all the work done for you. So the next one here is the time framework, because for this one here, getting all of this stuff done is great, but once you have to sit down and assemble it or work on it, or anything in relation to getting your book done, it doesn't matter whether it's an hour a day or an hour a week, as long as you set some kind of schedule, which is really the important thing. You want to set some kind of schedule and stick to it and take action, and that is what will follow through and get you done, get your book finished and published. Myself, I like to do it in right now I do it in the evenings. I like to set a little time after dinner and work on things for a few hours. Sometimes I'll get up early on the weekend and do a little bit then, but I always know in advance when I'm going to be able to work on it because I set a schedule and I follow through. But that's about it for how to easily publish your book on Amazon Kindle. Develop a system and set a time framework. And if you want to learn more about my system, you can click on the information link below. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next video.